in our dual service. We are here in person and we are also out in cyberspace. Our celebration singers will welcome the day.
We come together to behold the power of love, the power of life. We come together to behold. We are divine.
Lift up our hands, lift up our hearts, lift up our vision, lift it to the stars. Lift the glory, whirl in the grace. See God in every face.
God in every face. We come together to behold the power of love, the power of life. We come together to behold. We are divine.
Lift up our hands,
Lift up our hearts, lift up our vision, lift it to the stars, and sing the glory, whirl in the grace. See God in every face. See God in every face. Lift up our hands, oh, lift up our hearts, lift up our vision, lift it to the stars, and sing the glory, whirling the grace. See God in every face. See God in every face. See God in every face.
Yay! Well, welcome to Unity of Wilmington. I'm Lainey Morger. I'm your platform host for the day, and I'd like to welcome you. The person letting us say out loud and see this out in vision is Christine. He's back in the sound booth. Our musicians are Justin Lacey, Mitch Ebert, and our music director, Katie Deese. Our soloist is going to be Megan Golden. Yes. Our speaker is Dr. Ellen Contento, and our prayer partner is Sharon Hertner. I'd like to welcome anybody here for the first time today. Okay, we're all old-timers. Anybody here for the second or third or fourth time today? Yay, welcome back. Spring has finally come a little bit, even though it's a bit brisk out there. It's a good time to be here. I invite you to join me in our major statement. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life. God, the good omnipotence. From this flows our three affirmations. Please join me. There is only one, I am. I am a beloved expression of God. I am here for a holy purpose. I am in the right place at the right time right now. Please. Oops. I'm back. I'm sorry, Daily Word. We have a little voice from the background. Sharon Hertner will do our Daily Word for the day. Thank you.
Daily Word is a publication from Unity, and it's available in both print copy and online electronically. And there's also copies available here for a cost of $3 if you're interested. The word for today is comfort. I find comfort in expressions of love. Speaking the words, I love you, provides comfort for an aching heart and peace in times of uncertainty. Today, I open my heart to these loving expressions as a soothing balm for distress or grief. When I am concerned about another, love centers me in the truth that all is in divine order, no matter how circumstances appear. I enfold the people I care about in a sphere of love, encircling them in peace and protection. When I am troubled, I find comfort in others' loving words. I surround myself with those who offer solace in my time of need. I find encouragement in their kindness and compassion. As we share of ourselves in kind and loving ways, we hearten spirits and bolster faith, giving comfort to ourselves and others. Colossians chapter 2, verses 2 to 17. Comfort your hearts and strengthen them in every good work and word.
Thank you, Sharon. And now, Megan.
When you're down and troubled and you need some loving care, and nothing is going right, close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You got a friend. If the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind begins to blow, keep your head together and call my name out loud. Soon you'll hear me knocking at your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I will be there. Yes, I will. Now ain't it good to know that you got a friend when people can be so cold? They'll hurt you, yes, and desert you, and take your soul if you let them. Oh, but don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. got a friend. You've got a friend.
Oh, we truly have a friend in Megan and Katie and the band and Carole King, because that's an amazing song. Who couldn't stop themselves from singing? Anyone? It was almost impossible not to sing while we were listening to that song. Oh, so let's take the meaning of that song and what we were reading this morning in the Daily Word into our meditation. So I invite everybody just to get comfortable in your seat. Take a nice deep breath in. And if you're watching online, please do the same. And let us breathe in this idea, this belief, this truth that we are always comforted in spirit, that we always have the comfort of friends, always present, always around us, and that we too are that dear friend to somebody else. Envisioning that person who may be in need in our lives. Maybe it's someone in our community or a story that we saw in the news. Holding that person in our hearts. Sending them that love that we feel. And knowing that when we send love out, it returns back to us and fills our hearts. And we expand into this beautiful energy that is love, that is friendship, that is comfort. And see yourself just opening up like a flower. A flower that's watered with love and comfort. As it opens up, it shares its beauty with the world. And we are doing the same each and every time we spread our love and we comfort somebody else. And so if you are feeling down, if you are feeling troubled, look no further than to the God within. Look no further to the person next to you, the person in front of you, the person behind you, because they too are an expression of God, and see God in their face. And allow the love of God, and allow the love of Spirit to comfort us when we're troubled. Let's take another deep breath in and release. One more deep breath in. Anchoring in this feeling, let's put our hands on our hearts. And if you need comfort yourself, go ahead and send yourself some love. Be your own best friend. And see the God within you, because that is who you are. You can never be separated from that truth. And as we come out of our meditation and we open our eyes, I want you to look to the left, look to the right, and see the God in the person right by you. So everyone, deep breath in. Let's open our eyes and see all these beautiful God faces all around us. And I'm seeing all of your beautiful faces out there as well. Thank you, Katie. Well, welcome, everyone. It is so beautiful to see all these beautiful faces. We are still in March, and March has been coming in, I think, more like a lamb and going out like a lion. Doesn't it feel that way? Absolutely. Although my closet's very happy because I still have a lot of winter clothes that I want to wear. Anybody feel that way? You're not quite ready to relinquish the winter clothes yet? So God, let's bring on the cool weather. Well, we're still good. We're still good. So today is March 19th. So as you guys all know, I always want to bring forward a fun holiday. So there are so many fun holidays. So many fun holidays today. But one of my favorites has to do with food and candy. And today is actually Chocolate Caramel Day. I know! Chocolate Caramel Day. So we'll share a little bit more about that later. So that's just kind of planting a seed there for all of you. Chocolate Caramel Day. But my talk today is called Pay It Forward. And it is Kindness Month, and so all month long we're talking about different aspects of kindness. And so as I was thinking about this, like I wasn't here last week, but I was here at the first week of March, and we talked mostly about self-kindness a couple of weeks ago, self-kindness. So today I want to talk more about paying it forward, having kindness to others. And I started to think about, you know, when we are paying someone, right? When someone does something nice for us and we feel like, oh my God, I've got to pay them back, right? I've got to pay them back. Doesn't it feel like a debt? Right? I've got to pay back this debt because that person was nice to me. They were kind to me. They paid for my drinks, or they took me out to dinner, or they brought me a gift. Oh, I've got to pay them back. And it feels like this heavy debt. And it doesn't need to feel that way, obviously. You know, people give out of the goodness of their hearts. We don't need to pay them back. Instead, as they did in the movie, how many of you saw it, Pay It Forward, right? It was all about, right, do something kind for someone, and instead of them paying you back, let them pay it forward to at least 3 people. Let them pay it forward. So I was thinking about that. I was like, all right, well, if paying it back feels like settling a debt, paying it forward feels like amplifying the good deed. Amplifying the good deed. Because I'm now going to spread that to at least 3 people. And I want you to be thinking about that today, and all through the month, and as you know, all through the rest of your life, not just on Sunday. How can we pay it forward? So the lesson we're going to be focusing on today is 3 things. So it's about living from the Christ within, because, you know, and it was perfect that the song, our new song, maybe it was played last week, I apologize, our new song and what we talked about in the Daily Word about comfort, it really is about recognizing who we are intrinsically, and we are all divine expressions of God. So when we pay it forward, we are coming from that place of wanting to spread that to each other. So in, you know, the book of the 5 Principles, A Guide to Practical Spirituality, I wanted to just share a little bit here. Pink tab. I even put little notes for myself. Share from the pink tab, Ellen. So what if it were possible to rise above such human travails and live effortlessly with an attitude of love and compassion for yourself and others? What if you could hold on to thoughts and feelings so positive that only good could be drawn to you? What if you could clear out the debris of the past and any fears so the future Spirit could just shine from within and light the world? I love that, and that's the point of spiritual growth. It's living from the Christ within, making decisions from the higher self, loving with the unconditional and inexhaustible energy of the divine. So when we live from the Christ within, we are absolutely paying it forward. Now, right, there is also this ripple effect of kindness. Right? There is a ripple effect of kindness. Of course, if you do one good thing for someone and they do one good thing for someone and they do go one, before you know it, we have touched everyone in the world. It's like that ripple effect or the butterfly effect, right? With the butterfly, you know, does its thing somewhere in the world, we can feel it here. And I was watching something the other morning, and they had a story about this barber shop in, I think it was in Indianapolis. And, you know, what they started to do was, you know, they recognized there was a lot of crime in their community and a lot of gun violence. And they thought, well, what can we do? Instead of us preaching to the youth, let's bring the youth in here, and we will just listen to them. What can we do that's kinder than what's been going on in the world? And you know, what they found was deep listening, and I think everyone recognized this. When we really listen to someone, we really listen deeply from that Christ within, we are being kind, and there is a ripple effect to that, absolutely. And of course, right, we're always talking about unity principles. We are always talking about unity principles. And, you know, this whole concept of, you know, kindness heals. And when we think about prayer, I talked about this a couple weeks ago. You know, affirmative prayer to me is absolutely the epitome of paying it forward. Because when we pray, we are praying in the now, saying thank you and gratitude for what we have declared is ours in the future. So we are literally paying it forward to say thank you for my perfect health. Thank you for my great job. Thank you for my beautiful children. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are paying it forward when we pray. So we should always be paying it forward instead of trying to pay it back. How many of you agree with that? Yeah, the more I dove into this concept, the more it just made perfect sense to me. So of course we have an affirmation for today, and the affirmation is, I ripple in the currency of kindness. So let's say that together. I ripple in the currency of kindness. And you can go ahead and type that online as well. So how many of you as a kid, or even as an adult, went to a pond and tossed a stone into the water, right? Yeah, and how many times did you have to do it to get like the perfect ripple effect? A lot, right? A lot, right? But in, you know, the world, right, we don't have to worry about, well, how many times is that going to ripple out? How many times? Even if we just touch one person, just one person. And that's always been my mantra. Whenever I do a corporate training, whenever I do a talk, whenever I write something, if only one person read it, if only one person was touched by it, that is all you need for that ripple effect, because that one person will tell someone else, will tell someone else, will tell someone else. And you think about, you know, we shared about this a couple weeks ago, just smiling at one person or hugging one person, that could be all they needed to make a major change in their life. And so today's talk is more a kind of show and tell than anything else, because as I was researching all these great stories of Pay It Forward, I spent hours and hours looking through different stories. And so I just, you know, curated a few for today. But this one, I don't know if you can read the check there, but a waitress, after these two firefighters had come in, I think it was like in the middle of the night, first thing in the morning, they'd literally been up all night putting out a warehouse fire. And, you know, they just wanted a hot meal after that. And in order, you know, when the check, you know, when it was time to give them the check, the waitress instead paid for their meal and wrote this beautiful note on the check, which basically says how much she appreciates what they do for the community, and how much she appreciates their bravery and their courage. And it just really, really touched the firemen so much. Obviously, she didn't have to pay for their check, and she didn't have to write that beautiful note. And what they found was that the waitress, and her name is, I know I have it on here somewhere, Woodward. This was in New Jersey a number of years ago, that she was saving and fundraising for her quadriplegic father to get a van. And I think she was trying to save, like, I don't know, $15,000 to buy this van for her dad. And when they heard that, they started raising money, and they raised over $67,000. So $50,000 over what she actually needed. And they said in a story to the Today Show, they said, this is just one example of how so many people in this world have incredible hearts, and they pay it forward so the circle keeps on moving, right? So, you know, and I know a lot of times we're like, oh, I wish I could just help everyone, right? And, you know, we can't help everyone, but we can help one person. Now, maybe with the ripple effect, if we trace it all the way back, we're like, that one thing that we did literally helped everyone. So you have to start with someone. And as I was sharing a couple weeks ago, when, you know, you get all those envelopes in the mail, the requests for donations and money, and, you know, I spread them all out. I'm like, oh, I want to give to that one. I want to give to this one. Oh, I used to give to that one. And it's like, I don't, you know, I can't give to everyone, or I can't donate everywhere. I can't be everywhere at once, but I can choose one, you know, and that's what we do here as well, as we decide which cause that we want to support, right? Right now we're supporting a cause, and so we're going to choose one, and we're going to do that, and then next month we're going to do something else. Mother Teresa said, never worry about numbers. Help one person at a time, and always start with the person nearest you. Think about that. Just start with the person nearest you. And that's what that, you know, example was with the waitress and the firemen, right? These are firemen in her community, right there sitting in front of her. Start with the person nearest you. And, you know, I think about how this plays out in our own life. Think about your own life. In my household, and I've shared this story so many times, too many dirty dishes in the sink all the time. All the time. And, you know, if I want to pay it forward, instead of just doing my dishes, which is the responsible thing to do, and it's the agreement that we have made in our household, remember 4 agreements, the agreement we made, I can now clean all the dishes in the sink. I can clean my daughters, I can clean my sons, I can clean my husband's. I can clean all the dishes, and I can pay it forward. I can be kind to somebody else without resentment, without expectation of getting anything in return. That's the whole thing about paying it forward. We're not expecting anything in return. Think about, you know, you can bring your neighbor's mail in when they're on vacation, or maybe they're sick and you know, shut in. We can bring meals. We can volunteer in our own Unity home here, right? Our greeters, our hospitality, our singers, right? Our performers, right? All of the things that we do in service to be kind to each other. That's another way that we help each other. So it's about deciding, what is mine to do? What do I want to do? What do I feel called to do? What do I feel passionate about doing? And do that one thing. So here's another one that I found, right? Seeking human kindness. And every time I pass somebody that's holding up a sign, you know, need food, looking for a job, you know, please help. You know, so often we're like torn inside. It's like part of us wants to stop and help, and then there's always that I remember the devil and the angel I talked about, like there's that back and forth, And for many years in California, I would always keep dollar bills in my car. And instead of where you put your sunglasses, you know, that little holder that drops down, I would always have dollar bills. So if I was stopped at a light and there happened to be somebody, you know, right there that was that had a sign, I would, you know, at least give out $1. One point I was giving out sandwiches. I would try to always have at least one sandwich in the car so I could give out a sandwich. So when we think about people holding up a sign, right, instead of thinking about, well, they need to pay their debt to society, right? Pay it forward with kindness. We don't know why anyone is in the situation that they might be in. And here's the truth. I could have been that person. I could have been that person. Any one of us could have a catastrophic event in our lives where we forget who we are, we forget our power, we forget the friends that we have, and we feel lost. And so can we be kind to those that are in need? And you think about it. We have so many different things that we do already, like the Meals on Wheels that we do here on Saturdays, the group, the ladies that come in and prepare all of that, and then they pick it up and they deliver it. Or how many of you ever adopted an animal from a shelter? Anyone? Yeah. That is definitely paying it forward. Because you bring that pet home, they shower you, right? Oh, I know, I've met Fran's little kitties. They're so sweet. Right? They shower you with kisses and love for your kindness, and they do give you comfort. Pet therapy is real. So ask people, what do you need? If you see someone, even if you don't think they need something, what can I do to support you? What would comfort you right now? And many times when someone has been going through something or they've lost someone, just listening to them is a way to be, kind. Just be with that person. Just be. So, quote, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." So think about that, right? We make a living. How do we make a living? We work. Sometimes we work really hard. We get a salary. We get bonuses. We get wages. We get titles. We make a living. We've been raised to go to school and go out into the world and make a good living. That's what we've been raised to do. So we make a living, but, many times it doesn't feel like that's enough, like something's missing. I think that's why we're called to our spiritual centers, because we need to be fed spiritually as well, right? We pay for our stuff, right? We buy our cars, we buy our houses, right? We buy nice clothes, and then we want to buy bigger and better, and that still doesn't fill that need sometimes within. So how do we find more purpose and meaning in our lives? By giving back, right? By being kind to others. Of course, we want to be kind to ourselves. Let's not forget that too. Self-care is not being selfish, but we want to be kind to others. So there's one group, and many of you probably are familiar with it, but it's called the Giving Pledge. How many of you have heard of the Giving Pledge? Anyone? So some hands went up, right? Then if you know about it, go ahead and type, "Yes, I know about the Giving Pledge" online. So the Giving Pledge was actually started by Gates and I think Warren Buffett, but it was started by billionaires that recognize that, well, they have way more than they need, right? They have made a good living, and they have way more than they need. And they said, you know what? Let's start a pledge that we will give back 50%, 50% of their net profits every year. 50%. This was started, I think, back in 2010. I forgot to write down the exact year that they started the Giving Pledge. It is now over 200 plus billionaires in 28 countries. And it's not just giving money, but they also come together and they discuss, like, how can we do better in the world? How can we solve a lot of the world's problems? And I thought about that for myself. I'm like, oh, I thought I was pretty generous, but I don't give 50% of my net profits. And I think there's not much when I get down to what the net profit is, but would I be willing to give half of that away? And I started to say, well, why wouldn't I? We are abundant. We are unlimited. God doesn't know, $1 from $1 million. It's just more zeros, and zero is nothing, right? When you think about it, a zero is nothing. That's the definition. So why don't we pay it forward more often, be more generous? And once again, it doesn't have to be money. It can be with our time. It can be with our talent. Now, let's look at some examples of some businesses that also did pay it forward. So this should be, this is Mason Wortman of Wortman's Pizza Restaurant in Philadelphia. So anyone that lived in Philadelphia, maybe you know this place. But he started a pay it forward movement where he asked people to donate just $1, one extra dollar from their order, like whatever. Let's say it costs $5 to buy a slice of pizza. he would ask for 6, and then he would put that extra dollar on a sticky note. And there you can see all these sticky notes. And then homeless or whoever needed some food could come in, take a sticky note off the wall, and use that for a slice of pizza. I thought that was brilliant and so simple. And you know, again, doesn't just have to be homeless. I think of all the starving students, right, that need a slice of pizza in the middle of the night from studying. But let's look at another one. So similar to Wortman's business model, Lisa Ludwitsky, she created a cleverly named Pie It Forward in her shop in Detroit called Sister Pie. And this very similar, she would have a previous customer just pay for a slice of pie, and once again, you could just take that coupon and get yourself a slice of pie. Now, again, we see this played out, and think about how you could do this in your own communities, in your own neighborhoods. When I was living in California, I did a lot of work at the Claremont colleges in Claremont, and I had a favorite bakery that I used to love to go in after my trainings and get either a challah or get like a cupcake or a cookie. You know I love my sweets. So they would always have a bulletin board where there were people that were collecting for something. And there was one organization where they were collecting for the homeless, so shoes, clothes, and they would write the items that you could purchase on a little card. And so you would just take the card, and it was all honor system. You would take the card home, you would buy whatever was on it, and then you would just bring it back and put it into their bin. And so I would frequently take those cards whenever I was in to, pick up an item and bring the item back. Same thing with my Planet Fitness. They always have a bin. There's a bin for something they're always collecting for. We have a bin right out front to collect food. So there's many ways that we can pay it forward. Again, we don't have to think too hard. Christmas time, another one that we used to do is with a Christmas tree, we'd have little paper stars with kids' names on it and their ages, so that you would take the star off the tree, you'd go buy a gift, and once again, you would donate that. So a purposeful act or extension of kindness to another is never wasted. It is always resides in the hearts of all those involved in the chain of love. Now, here's one chain of love that is amazing. How many of you know about the kidney chain? The kidney chain. Okay, wow. I forgot when I first heard about this, but it was started because people that were in need of a kidney, of course, you'd want to give your kid, we have 2, so a lot of times if somebody in your family needed a kidney, you would think you'd be a perfect match. And you'd go be tested and find out you're not. And it's like, how is my loved one going to get a kidney if their own family isn't a perfect match? So somebody started this kidney chain where I'll donate my kidney. I don't know who it's going to go to, but if everyone that was willing to donate a kidney to a loved one donates a kidney in this chain, eventually it's going to come back and my loved one is going to get someone's kidney. I was like, wow. And then once again I thought, wow, am I willing to pay that forward if someone in my family needed a kidney or a liver or blood? And I do give blood, but unfortunately because I had an illness many years ago that just disqualified me from giving blood, but I gave it anyway. Truthfully, I gave it anyway a few months ago, and then I get this letter from the Red Cross, this big red alert, do you know that you may have? And at first I was like, oh, I thought I was cured of that 20 years ago. And then because I have antibodies in my body. But it made me feel bad. I'm like, oh, no, I can't give blood to anybody else who might need it, but I can give blood to myself. So they do let you give blood to yourself. So you can pay it backwards. Pay that backwards, pay it to yourself. Right. So here's some other examples of paying it forward here. So a complete stranger gave $10,000 to someone who did need a liver transplant because she was not able to afford it. One lady contacted a hospital and said, I have all these air miles. They're going to expire and I'm never going to use them. Is there any families that need miles to go visit a sick loved one? So, Think about all your air miles that might be expiring. Can you donate those? And here's another favorite one. Little boy saw that someone was about to get a ticket, a parking ticket, and asked his mom if he could put money in the meter so that he, could save that person from getting a $79 ticket. I don't know what it costs today to get a parking ticket. I know it's not cheap, right? So, a couple more. This one might be one of my favorites. So, this was in Canada. Instead of passing out tickets, this policeman, actually they're called constables, in the spirit of Cupid on Valentine's Day, decided to hand out candy and flowers and cards to people. With his own money, he bought 30 roses, cards, and assorted flowers to give out to traffic offenders. So he'd pull people over, right? And of course, the people are waiting, like, oh, God, please don't give me a speeding ticket, whatever it is that, or I didn't realize the light had turned red. Instead, he gave them a handwritten card and either candy or flowers. And actually, he gave a hockey-themed card to one woman, said, Happy Valentine's Day from St. Anne's Police Department, P.S., fix your headlight. Right. And think about this, though, paying it forward. When you notice someone's lights are out, my daughter and I were in the car about a week ago, and the guy in front of us, their brake lights were out. And we're like, we should pull them over and let them know because that's dangerous. So think about how we could also pay it forward, be kind to each other by letting each other know about things that could be potentially, life-threatening to someone. So I love that story. I love that story. So, thinking about, again, how can I apply this in my own life? Instead of getting mad at your family for not doing their dishes, or your husband for not making the bed, or fixing the thing that they said they were going to fix, what if you went home instead and you wrote out a handwritten note that said how much you love them, what amazing person they are. Focus on all the things you care about them, and hand that to them instead, and say, I love you. P.S., could you remember to make the bed? Right. I would say leave the P.S. off. I have found that when you are kinder and more loving and warmer, at least to your family members and your friends, they are kind to you. And same thing with strangers. That person you may never see that person ever again, but you will leave a lasting impact on them. I will never forget some smiles, random strangers on the street or the subway. And what a difference it makes in our lives. I think this is our last quote. I've learned that you shouldn't go through life with a catcher's mitt on both hands. You need to be able to throw something back. Right? Maya Angelou said that. And think about that. That's the divine flow. That is the divine flow. Instead of always receiving, and we talk a lot about that in our spiritual practice. What can I receive? But what can I give back? And think about, go through your closets. How many of you have stuff in your closets that you can give back? Right? Give back to Goodwill. I'll tell you, I have a really funny story about that. I ended up giving back a shirt that I got from Goodwill. I was like randomly going through my closet. I'm like, I haven't worn this one in a while. And I took it to Goodwill. And weeks later, I was like, oh, I love that shirt. I think I had forgotten. Right? But the divine flow, right? The divine flow. So, go through your closets, do the things to give back to your communities, give back to people in need. I'm in many programs online, many that have great content, great speakers. And one of the things that we learned was it's not just about what that speaker can give to you or the information they're giving you, but ask them, what can I do to serve you? What can I do to help you in your business? What do you need personally? Because we're all people, right? We stand up and we present ourselves in our line of work as our experts, but at the end of the day, as they say, we all take our pants off the same, or we all put our pants on the same way. I think that's the way it goes, the other way, right? Put your pants on the same. Right? We're all people, right? We're all people. Yeah, and even when you do pay for something, you can repay that by saying thank you. That's so important. We forget, even when people are doing their jobs, a thank you still goes a long way. Speaking of thank yous, on March 29th, Jersey Mike's, I saw a commercial about this, Jersey Mike's is giving 100% of their sales back to the community. They're selecting different local charities to give to. So on one day, 100% of their sales. And they also do those kinds of things in the schools, too, where they'll go into a school and they'll say, pick a day, and we'll promote that, and everyone that comes in and buys sandwiches from us on that day, we will give that money to your school. So these are ways that we can pay it forward. So the last one here, I think this is my last one. Yeah, remember, out of work, homeless, anything helps. And once again, think about how we can support each other. So your acts of kindness are iridescent wings. I love that word, iridescent wings of divine love which linger and continue to uplift others long after sharing. Long after sharing. And so, you know, when we give our money, when we give our time, when we are, let's say, an organ donor, right, on our licenses, when we tithe, when we do fundraisers, when we pledge, and even our planting, our community planting day that's coming up is going to be a way that that will, you know, spread its gifts long after the actual deed. So let's finish up with our affirmation. Once again, I ripple in the currency of kindness. Namaste, everyone. All right. So it is now time for our divine, I call it divine giving, because we are giving it and paying it forward. And also in support and my gift in paying it forward to all of you on Chocolate Caramel Day. I actually thought about this morning. So in the baskets, as they get passed for you to put your gifts in, if you are called to, you are welcome to take a chocolate out or take a couple and pay it forward to someone who likes chocolate-covered caramels. So before we do that, let's go ahead and do our mudra. There we go. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is.
My desire, and I'll be at your side forevermore. Though your love keeps on lifting higher, higher and higher. I said your love keeps on lifting me higher and higher. Disappointment was my closest friend, but then you came and he soon departed. You know he never showed his face again. That's why your love keeps on lifting me higher, higher and higher. I said your love keeps on lifting me higher and higher.
Thank you so much, Megan. Oh, my goodness. Your gifts keep lifting us higher and higher and higher and higher. Oh, feel the vibration of that love and that joy and the tithes and the donations that are in this basket, that have been donated online, that are coming to us, that divine flow that allows us to do good work in the world. It keeps our lights on. It keeps this community alive. It's how we are kind to each other and how we pay it forward. And it's with gratitude and thanksgiving that we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And together we all say, and so it is. Amen. There you go.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is that we come to the end of today's service, just about. Time for announcements. The first one is that Sharon will be our prayer partner today. She will be able to join you on the side over here for our prayerfulness time. We pray 30 days if you put a request in the box, and then that gets sent to Silent Unity, and it is prayed over for another 30 days. So celebrate, request, whatever, but connect with God. The next thing is the biggie. We are swinging into spring, and to tell us about it will be Fran. Fran?
Oh, you want me up here? Yeah, you got to see my boots.
Gotta see.
Dancing shoes.
Whoa.
Dancing shoes. Come on. And my karaoke mic. On Friday, March 31st, we are going to have some fundraising going on right here in the sanctuary. Chris Mullen will be bringing his karaoke machine and the whole 9 yards. We're going to have songs from the 50s all the way up through the 90s, mostly dance songs and great songs that we can sing and have fun. It will be a collaboration of karaoke, or a mix of karaoke and dance. So we are looking for lots of people to join us. If you want to do a duet in the karaoke, we will have 2 mics at a time. We are asking $10 for a love offering, but please don't let that keep you from coming. We definitely want to fill our sanctuary with lots of fun and having a good time and raising some money. All donations, everything is being donated by Chris and ourselves. Also, I want to mention that Leonard Melfi, who is not here today, he's been also very active in helping us put our songbooks together. So we have 2 songbooks out in the hallway right now, and you're welcome to look them over and start thinking about what song you want to sing and with whom you're going to sing it with, maybe a partner. And we'll have those here again next week. The doors open about 6:30, so you can come a little early and look over the songbooks and fill out the songs you might want to sing. And they'll be here every Sunday, so you can look them over as well. I hope to see you all here. I am looking for we are looking for some volunteers to make some cookies or brownies, a little dessert, since it's going to actually start from 7 and go till 10. So desserts would be lovely and welcome, and we will sell those for $1. Okay, thank you so much. Hopefully you see it. If you have any questions or want to volunteer, please see me. Thank you.
Fran. Also, as you know, it's spring, and spring usually leads to Easter. We are having an Easter Bloom Festival. We are selling flowers. There's a table out front that will allow you to get some flowers that will decorate our platform on Easter. And then half of that money that will not be actually paying for the flowers will be going to purchase flowers that we can plant out front later in April on the 22nd. So it's a 2-part deal. You buy them, you celebrate Easter, you take them home with you, you enjoy them, and then our profits from that go to decorate our spiritual home later in the month. Okay, and then the last thing, on March 25th, as was mentioned earlier, we will have a workshop on affirmative prayer and meditation, and that will be here on Saturday, March 25th, starts at 9:30, runs till about 1 o'clock, and we'll learn about how we talk to God. And we listen to God as well. Thank you very much. And now, in closing, I invite you to join me in saying our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. Wherever we are. Whoops. Presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And now our celebration singers.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Take this beautiful, loving energy. United are we in peace, paying it forward into our communities throughout the week, throughout the month, and throughout the rest of our lives. Have a beautiful Sunday, everyone, and see you back here next week. Woo-hoo!